Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. My name is mogrt. Today I'm going to be teaching you all about titles and graphics in Adobe Premiere Pro. So basically there are two ways of creating graphics. You can come over here to your toolbars and select your pen tool. If you hold on to your pen tool, you will notice the pen tool, the rectangle tool, and the ellipse tool. Now you can hit on the rectangle tool and then come over to your monitor over here and create a rectangle. You can also come back here and select the ellipse tool. You can create an ellipse. So the reason why you can't see this is because the color of the shape is also white. But what you can do to see it is to come over to the shape tool. You can see the first shape we created over here in the effects control panel, shape 1. Now the new one we created is shape 2. You can come over to this arrow and select it to go down and change the fill color from white to red and click OK. Now you can see that our ellipse has popped up. Another way you can create another form of graphics is by using the pen tool to create a free scale drawing. So you can come over here and start creating some kind of mask. You draw them together, you join them together, and the moment you join it finally, you will notice that you have created another shape, which is shape 3. In order for that to be visible, you will probably want to change the color from red to something different like green. Once you click OK, you will notice that we have created 3 different shapes. We have the white, which is rectangle. We have the red, which is oval. Then we have the free drawing that we made over here, which is green, using the pen tool. Now, to create text in Premiere Pro, there are also 2 ways. The first way is to come over to your toolbar once again, and you select your type tool. Once you select your type tool, you can come over here and type, let's use Jesus is King. For obvious reason, he is king. You can also come back here to your type tool, hold down and select the vertical type tool, and then you can type Jesus, and then you can see that it has typed vertically. If you want to edit your graphics over here, you have the option of coming over here to effects control. Now, if you use this vector motion that is over here, if you move your x-axis, you will notice that you are moving the entire graphics that you have created. So if you want to create a group of graphics together and you want to animate them together, you can make use of this position over here to move them in any direction you like. You can also change the scale over here. But if what you want to do is you want to edit them individually, you're going to go down to the individual shapes. So let me close them back so you can see we have the shape 1, we have our shape 2. You can see all the shapes we created. We can see our shape 1, you can see our shape 2, our shape 3, our Jesus is King text, and then you can see finally the Jesus text. So let's say we want to edit the graphics for the first shape we created, which is white. The first thing you may want to do is to change the color. You can come over to the fill type over here and select a black color and hit on OK, and automatically it's going to turn black. But let me return that back to white, and then it's going to go back to white automatically. Another way to change your colors is when you select this fill type, let's say you don't know the exact color, but there's a color somewhere you want, you can hit this pen tool over here and touch the color you are thinking of creating, maybe this or this. Touch on the pen tool and then move to that color. You will notice that the moment your pen hovers over that color, Premiere Pro is showing you what that color is going to look like. So if I should hit on green now and press OK, you will notice that my graphics over here has turned to green. But let me take that back to white. So another thing you can do is to add strokes. To add strokes, what you're going to do is to check the stroke button over there, and then you can increase the stroke. So what strokes is like a light that shines around the edges of your graphics. So if you want to see these strokes clearly, what I'll do is to change the color of the stroke to maybe another color so you can see it clearly. So now that I've selected a brown color, you can see the stroke. So the strokes are colors that highlight around the background of text or graphics. So let me just off that. Another thing you can do here is to transform the graphics on its own instead of moving the entire thing. So you'll notice that we are editing right now only a particular graphics, which is the graphics 1, which is this white background over here. So I can come over here and change the position by moving the X value, and you will notice that I'm moving only the white graphics. Then I can also move the Y axis up and down. I can also come here and change the rotation value of the white, you can see. So we are changing the value of a single graphics that we created. You can also change the opacity. So what the opacity does is the visibility of that graphic. So 100 means that it's going to be fully visible, while if I take it down to 50, it means it is partially visible, and if I take it to 0, it's not visible. So let me just put that back at 100. So let me move over to a text and show you more over text. So now, this is Jesus is King text over here, as you can see. You have the option of aligning it to any angle. You can see that as I'm touching this, it is moving on the screen. You can also change the font type. There are several fonts. You can select the 60s pop, and you will notice that it is changing. Or you can also make it bold by hitting this text over here. You can also change the fill color from green to, let's say, red. And you'll notice that I've changed it to red. You can also change that back to, you can also change that to blue, any color you prefer. And you'll notice that it has changed to blue. Another thing you can also do is to select a stroke. Once again, you can come over here, check the stroke, and then you can increase the stroke. So the stroke here is white. If you increase the value of the width of the stroke, you can notice that the Jesus is King over here now has a white stroke. So to make that more obvious, you may want to increase the scale. So if I move this to 177, you can see the stroke more clearly. Now the next thing you may want to add is a shadow. This already has a black shadow checked. That's why you can see this black over here. But if you uncheck the shadow option here, you will notice that the black is no longer visible. But I kind of like it with the black shadow, so I'll put that right back. You can see it over here in the Jesus is King. Now, if you want to add a background to your text, if you check this, you will notice that there is a background now to our text, but you can take that out. So you can also make your text italics by selecting this option. You can take that out. So you can just play around with this and see what they do. So this is where you change the position. Like I said, for an individual graphics, you can see the moment I touched position, it created a blue line around that text. That is because what we are editing now is on the Jesus is King text. Now you can also change the scale over here. You can change the rotation value. So 360 degrees is making it rotate once. Like I taught you in the last tutorial, you can actually animate this by adding keyframes to it. So the opacity, like I told you, is the visibility. You can make it partially visible, and then you can make it fully visible. So that is basically how you can edit a particular text in Adobe Premiere Pro. So I've showed you how to create multiple text and how to move or animate the multiple text. So you can see all the text we have created. We have created 2 texts and we have created 3 shapes. So this is basically how you create different graphics and then you animate them. It's important that you know how to create graphics as a video editor, because as a video editor, you're going to need to make use of graphics all the time. So it's good that you master the act of creating graphics. Now, the second way that you can create graphics and text in Premiere Pro, which is a more advanced way, I prefer this technique, is to come over here to File, hit on New, and then go down to Legacy Title. A lot of people prefer the technique of going over to the toolbar over here because it's faster and quicker. But I kind of like this old method because it gives me more options. I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, let me move this pointer to somewhere that is not showing those graphics so I can create fresh graphics. Now, if I come, let me align this properly. Okay, I kind of like it this way. So if I come over here to this rectangle tool, I can quickly create a rectangle around my screen. I can hit this selection tool over here and move this rectangle that I've created down. Now you can see that this interface has given me more options. I have more text over here that I can select. It's easier for me to have a preview of what the text is going to look like. And then I have more options to edit over here. So now it's easier for me to come over here and select an ellipse and create an ellipse. I can come over here, create more shapes. There are basically more options over here. Create more options as I like. I can hit my text here and type 365. I can come over here and still type JESUS. I can select any shape I want to edit. Please, before you edit anything over here, make sure you select the shape you are trying to edit, because if you just come over here and start editing, you might be applying effects to something else. So select whatever it is you want to edit before you actually go to edit it. So if I select this shape over here, for example, I have the option of coming down to this point here and changing the color. Maybe I want it to be thicker in color, more white. I can hit that and you will notice that the white has become brighter. If I want it to become red, I can come over here and tap red and it's going to automatically go to red. But let me take that back to white. So like I said about the opacity, you can increase or reduce the opacity of your graphics or your text. You can change the position. This is the X value, the Y value of the position. You can change the width by reducing or increasing the width of your graphics. This is the width while this is the height. You can also change the rotation of your graphics. Let me put this right back. You can also change the graphic type from rectangle to ellipse, change the graphics to arc. Keep on playing with it until you see something that fits what you're trying to create. So let me take this back to rectangle. One thing you need to note is that the first graphics you create will automatically be the graphics behind. So because I created the rectangle first, the rectangle is behind. So if I carry this up, you will notice that the other graphics I created after the rectangle are still visible. This is because the rectangle is the first graphics I created. So I can select any of this and change the color so you can see it more clearer. Select all the shapes that I have created and change their color so you can see. Let me select the Jesus and change the color to pink. Basically, I'm just messing with colors. Change this to black and then change the 365 to yellow. So you can drag it and increase the scale. Another thing you can do is to come over here. Once you select your text, you can come over here and change the kind of text you want. So this is 60s pop. There are a lot of text over here, but I don't want to change right now. So you can take a look at them to see what they all look like. You can change the style from regular if there is bold. So this has just regular, but some have bold and semi-bold and all of that, italic. So you can change all of that. Font size, you're increasing the size, the aspects, and all of that. So I'm not really trying to change all of that right now, but you can go ahead by all means and see what they look like. So now the fill type is the color. For example, let me select this graphics over here. If I come over to the fill type and I hit select, solid means that the entire shape is carrying one solid color. But you can change it to linear gradient. This gives you the options of changing it into a combination of two colors. So if I select this left option here, I can come and hit on this black axis. You will notice that part of the color has become black. If I hit OK, you will notice that my graphics, the top of my graphics is black while the bottom is brown. Now, if you come back to this fill type option and you select radial, so now the area around it is red. The linear color makes the top color different from the down color, while the radial color makes the edges around it. You are radially separating the colors, the inside from the outside. Now let's select another option. So we have the option of a 4-color gradient here. So what you can do is you can pick 4 colors. You can double tap here and change this portion to white. Double tap here and change this portion to yellow. You can double tap here and change this portion to black, and then you can leave here as red. So if you can see now that we have created a combination of 4 different colors. We have yellow, black, red, and white. So we also have eliminate and ghost. So these both colors, what they do is they hide the color. It becomes I selected something else. Sorry. So if I select this graphics again and I hit on eliminate, both of them eliminate the colors, so you are not seeing anything. So if I go back to 4-color gradients, you can see our 4 colors back. It's important that you master the art of creating this graphic. There's a lot that you can do with graphics. One of the things that makes you as a video editor stand out is your graphics, it's your titles, it's your text, it's your subtitles, it's your captions. Everything matters. So develop the habit of exercising yourself with graphics. So another thing you can do while still selecting that is to come over to the sheen property. So if you check on the shift sheen property here, you are creating a white line in between that particular graphics. If you select this arrow here and check it, you will see other options. You can change the color of the sheen, the line that has popped up from white to any other color. Let me just leave it as white. You can increase the opacity or reduce the opacity. You can notice that we are reducing the opacity. That is the visibility of the white line. Now the size is showing as 10, but we can increase it to 100 by taking this up. You can also change the angle of the sheen. You can also change the offset. So now another very important aspect of graphics is texture. So if I select this texture box here and move down, you will notice that I have a transparent box here. If you are trying to give texture to a particular graphic or a particular text, so you might notice some graphics that have the texture of a logo or a brand. For example, let me use this 365 text over here. If I go over to texture and I select texture, if I double tap on this transparent background here, let me go down and look for something that has, okay, let me use this picture of myself. Once I click open, you will notice that the 365 now has carried the color, the texture of that picture. Let me take this up a little bit. You will notice that it is the picture and my face that is inside here. So you can also go down and play around with it some more. Let me move this from the Jesus over there. You can come down to scaling. Now, it's showing clipped face. That's why you can see my face. So it has automatically clipped with my face with the text over there. You can change it to texture. Then you will notice that it's the yellow texture that has taken over the entire text. But then you can also change it to face. You can always change the character. You can also always put any color you like inside it. For example, if I come here and double tap and then I click on this, if I select this, you will notice that it has taken the design of that video. It helps a lot in branding. You understand? It helps a lot in branding. So for example, now I can come down over here. Some other things you might want to do is to check the alignment. You can align it how you want it to go, left, center, right. You can change from clipped face to screen. Let's see. You can see it has changed the effect over there. You can also go down and change it to face, an extended face. Basically, guys, just play around with this till you have a perfect understanding of what it looks like. Also, you may want to go over to the blending mode and mess with this. As I'm changing the values from 100, the colors are also changing. So this is another way that you can use to make your text stand out. So you can also come down over here to stroke and you can add inner stroke to it. You will notice that I have added a kind of feel to it. So we have the inner stroke and the outer stroke. So if you decide to add an outer stroke now, you can see this looks too thick because we already created a lot of strokes with the inner stroke. So I'll just go ahead and delete this. So you may want to add shadow to it. So you can check on the shadow option and automatically you've added a black shadow to it because the color of the shadow here is showing black. But you can select this option and change it from black to, let's say, yellow or orange. Let me hit the orange option there. And then you will notice that we have added some orange shadow to it. You can also reduce the opacity of the shadow. You can notice that the shadow is no longer visible, but you can increase it to 100 and you can take it back down to, let's say, okay, let me just leave it at 14. You can change the angle, you can change the distance, you can change the size, and then you can change the spread. Also, guys, you also have the option of changing font you want to use for your text. We have some other options here. So as I'm selecting, you can see the difference it's making to our text. So there are some title styles over here. Just go ahead. If you scroll down, you'll see some that already have colors, some that has a lot of sheen. You can just go ahead over here and mess with them to see what they look like. Now, the good thing is that Premiere Pro has created some templates for us for graphics and they have animated some for us. So to create these templates, you're going to move your tab from the editing tab, or if you're in the assembly tab, you're going to move from the assembly tab down to the graphics here. Now, automatically, Premiere Pro is going to pop up the Essential Graphics panel. Now, under this Essential Graphics panel, you're going to see two options here. There is Browse and then there is Edit. Under Browse, you'll see My Templates. If you scroll down, you will see templates that Premiere Pro has made available for you. I'm going to just drag a few and show you how they work. So you just select one, then you can drag it and drop it on your timeline. So the moment I dragged it here, you would notice that Premiere Pro automatically took it from the Browse panel to the Edit panel. But let me just take it to the beginning so you can see what this looks like. So this is coming up next. You will notice it's animated on its own. I did not type the text. I did not put any effect on it. You will notice it animated on its own. It added the sheen, the glow. You can see all the effects that have been applied to it. We have the alpha glow. We have the turn off for easier text editing. We have the mosaic. So if you go to these options that have effects and you off all these effects and you play it from the beginning, you will notice that there is no animation to it. It's just a simple text. But the moment you put this back on, your animation comes back to it. So Premiere Pro has taken the time to create some basic animation. They have added some keyframes to the text and the graphics over here for you. And you can see the keyframes over here that has been added. You can see the alpha glow. They have added some keyframes over here. They have added some keyframes over here. Now, if we go back to the browse panel, you will see some other options. So this is another option. Drag this over here. This is, let me just bring in a few to show you how they work. Okay, this over here. Just bring this over here. Okay, let me just bring this last one over here. So if I move over here, I can select this and change this depending on what I want it to be. So this is an episode name and this is a title. You will notice the effects that have been created for them, and then you will notice the titles over here. Now, if I want to move this entire graphics to a different position, I can come over here to the vector motion in effects control, select the position over here, and then I can move it to any area I want it to go to in the screen. So you can see I'm moving it to the right and I'm moving it back to the left. Well, let me just leave that back as it was. I can increase the scale also and then make it come in this way. But let's say you want to edit the text individually. What you need to do is to come over here to select this, your title, and you will notice that it has highlighted your title text alone. So if I want to edit this now, I'll just go ahead and select the text tool. Let me take that back to the normal type text tool and change this to Jesus is King. Now I can select the episode name and change it to episode 1 separately. Another thing you can always do is once you have selected the particular text you want to edit, you can come down over here and begin to mess with it. You can change the font. So you can change the font from that to, let's just go ahead and hit on this 60s pop, for example. I kind of like that example. And you'll notice that I've changed the font for only the episode 1. But let me reverse that. So if I select on it and scroll down, you will notice that we have the ability to change the fill, the stroke, the background, the shadow, the alignment, opacity. We can do all of that over here. So I don't want to change any other thing here. I will just go ahead and add some changes over here. Let's say what I want to do with this now is to write the name of the producer and his title as a producer. So I can just come over here and select it, hit the text tool and double tap it and just write Imo King. So I'll go over to the second line and select it over here and double tap to write producer / director. Go over here and hit the selection tool once again, and that would be it. Now these are credits, lower credits that you see a lot in movies. You see the way it came up, and also this is an end credit that you also see in projects like movies and all of that. So let me just go ahead and pop in a video so you can see exactly what it looks like. So if I drag this video down and place it beneath, okay, let me drag this 3 to this point. Okay, let me drag this a little bit. All right, let me just take this to the beginning. Okay, let me increase the scale so you can see what the video really looks like. Coming up next. Then scales over to Jesus is King, episode 1. Produced, directed by Imo King, and then so you basically can change the colors. You can see the company names, the lower thirds, a film by, all of that, and then at the end you can see the project and all of that. So you can play with this. Go ahead and edit it, see what it looks like, mess around with it. So this is just me trying to show you the Premiere Pro templates that are available to us. There's a lot more. If you come back over here to browse, you will see that there are a lot more over here. We have some other nice templates. We have for football, we have for soccer, we have for sports. Awesome templates. So if you just go ahead and hit play, you will see them animate. So you can see how to make use of the Premiere Pro graphics templates over here. So a quick one, I forgot to show you how to duplicate and how to move shapes forward or backward. So now here we have the text we created. We have the shapes and the text we created here. So if I move this pen tool back to the front, you can see the shapes and the text we created. Now you remember that the shape 1 we created is this white background that is behind. Now if I hold on to this shape 1 and drag it to the top, you will notice it has covered everything. That is because we have dragged it to the top. So that's how to move a shape or a text forward or backward. If I take it just behind the Jesus text, you will notice that the Jesus text is the only text in front of it. So you can actually move your text forward or backward. Another thing I would like to show you is how to copy or duplicate a text or a graphic. So you can just select any text over here, Jesus is King, hit right click, hit on copy, and then go to any position you like and then hit paste, and then you will notice that Jesus is King is now at the top because I pasted it at the top. So basically guys, that's how to create awesome text and graphics in Adobe Premiere Pro, and I've also showed you how to make use of the Premiere Pro graphics templates. If you found this tutorial very useful, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and drop your feedbacks in the comment section. I'll be sure to respond to every single one of them. And if you really like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate you. Thank you.